Hi. I just saw Stuart. He wants to dye his hair so he doesn't look like Adam anymore. I'm positive it's Stuart's reaction because he's had to pretend to be Adam. He doesn't want to do it anymore. I think this is something that we have to move fast on. Are you ready to do this?
Well, Charlie, are you ready?
Look, I'm sorry if you don't like this, okay? But I gotta follow my gut on this.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your life.
Hayley,
I'll
don't...
send for my things.
I'm sorry, really. I shouldn't have just barged in and started talking. I'm really sorry.
No, it's not your fault, okay? We were headed for this all by ourselves. I just don't understand why, okay? Why doesn't she want to find out who kidnapped her father?
I think it's because she thinks that we're right. You know, Adam's staged his own kidnapping. I mean, you know, how is she going to get past something like that?
Why would she want him?
Because she loves Adam. You know, he's her father. He worked so hard to prove to her that he loves her. She finally believes him, and
now everything's up for grabs. You know, if we're right on this, this is going to cost Hayley a lot.
You know, Adam and Gloria are happy. And if Hayley would just, you know, ignore this theory of ours, then everybody, including Hayley, can live blissfully ignorant, happily ever after.
Doesn't sound so bad. I just don't know whether I can turn my back on it.
Well, you know, is it possible that we're being just a little bit vindictive? I mean, you and I both have, you know, big axes to grind as far as Adam is concerned. The kidnapping's over. Nobody got hurt.
Physically, no. Emotionally, it's a different story.
We could drop it.
You know, every time I would see Hayley and Gloria, I'd wonder if Adam had jerked them around again. If he did this, he didn't give a damn about how worried or terrified they were. I can't just forget about that.
Oh, I know. You know, Stuart was so upset. I mean, when I think about that, I can't really forget about it either.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I don't know. We can, you know, try Stuart again.
No, I don't
chip away at him.
I don't think that's such a good idea. He may tip Adam that we're onto him.
Well, what about Scott?
I already thought of that. I called over there to see if I could confirm the vacation dates.
Any luck?
I couldn't locate him.
The blood work.
What blood work?
The hospital did that battery of tests.
So?
So, you know, Stuart and Adam changed places. Maybe they did the blood tests on Stuart before he and Adam had the chance to change.
And that would explain the lower blood pressure.
We have to check those records.
It's worth a shot.
One will be provided for you at no cost. Do you understand your rights, Stuart?
Adam, this is ridiculous. Tell him.
You're under arrest for obstruction of justice. Stuart, let's go down to the station house and discuss this.
Adam, tell him what happened.
Withholding information too, Mr. Chandler?
Don't let him take me off to jail. You're not going to jail, Stuart. You have no reason to arrest my brother. He's not guilty of anything but trying to protect me. Thank you, Stuart. This whole thing has gotten out of hand. It's time I told the truth. right, here's what happened. After I escaped, I told Stuart something privately. I thought that I had heard a couple of male voices.
I thought you were drugged. You said you couldn't remember anything.
Yes, well, that was part of the problem. They force-fed me these fast-acting drugs, and my mind was not clear. It was hazy. So I was afraid that what I remembered was the result of a drug-induced hallucination. So, but after I'd been home for a while, and my mind cleared and I recovered, now I'm convinced that the voices were real, not imagined.
When did you hear them?
What date? What time?
Well, I was blindfolded, you know. Let's see, I would guess 12 to 24 hours after I was kidnapped. I woke up tied to a chair, you know. I was blindfolded. I had a knot in the back of my head. I heard very far away the sound of two men talking. Next room, I would think.
Saying what? Did you hear any part of their conversation?
Oh, just bits and pieces. Nothing that made any sense. One of the men had a New York accent. The other...
What about the other, Adam?
Did he have an accent, too?
No. I recognized his voice.
Who was it?
Alec McIntyre.
You heard Alec's voice when you were kidnapped.
Are you sure?
I don't believe it.
Why did you withhold this information?
Are you really sure it was Alec's voice?
Yes, I'm sure.
Why didn't you tell us this before?
Obviously, he never intended to tell us.
Brooke's right, I didn't.
Why not, Adam?
For your sake, to spare you.
Me?
There's the question of Alec's motive. If he were arrested and stood trial, I knew that your relationship with Alec would be made public. Your name would be smeared. You've been through enough already.
You did that for me?
I do that and much more.
You're talking about making a positive ID of Alec McIntyre as your kidnapper?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't want to believe that he was involved.
I'd like an answer to Charlie's question, Mr. Chandler.
Yes, I heard what I heard. You do believe me, don't you?
I don't want to believe you, but yes, I believe you. I hope you throw the book at Alec. He deserves to hang for what he did to his family.
And you're absolutely certain that it was Alec's voice? You have no doubt?
No doubt whatsoever.
You thought he was behind the ransom notes from the very beginning, so in order to not drag Gloria's name through the mud, you kept quiet? Huh. 2 and 2 is not 5.
There's nothing on earth that I wouldn't do for my wife. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, excuse me, but I was your wife once, and I could write a book of everything that you are capable of doing.
A 15-volume anthology.
And letting a man go who threatened you and your family is not one of them. What about the night when Alec arrived here after you were released from your kidnappers? You thanked him, you shook his hand. I don't think even the new and improved Adam would do that. Not to a man who threatened to kill him. And what about returning the ransom? If Alec McIntyre was the kidnapper, why did he return the money?
Well, I guess you'll have to ask him that, won't you? But I would imagine, since I escaped, it was the only way he could think of to avoid incriminating himself. So, I guess I'm the lucky one. Here I am, home free, and I got my money back. What more could I ask for?
That's enough for me.
Well, it doesn't hold water. Alec McIntyre may be a creep, but he is not a kidnapper.
If you're so sure he's not guilty, Brooke, who is? If Alec didn't kidnap Adam, who did? Have any theories you'd care to share, Brooke?
No.
So, approximately 12 to 24 hours after you were abducted, you heard two male voices, one with a New York accent and the other, and you're certain, was Alec McIntyre.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll have another talk with him. But we already know he has alibis, and unfortunately, your word isn't enough to make an arrest.
Well, my word should be enough to establish probable cause. You could get a warrant and subpoena his financial records, unless, of course, you've already done that.
McIntyre, sir, was never our only suspect.
Ah. Well, then, I suggest you get busy.
Please.
What's your take on all this, Stuart?
Is Adam telling the truth?
Leave him alone. Can't you see he's upset? Because of you. Adam, don't do it. Say something. Before it's too late. Stuart, I've already said everything that has to be said. It's all right. He's upset. It's Gloria, isn't it? You're worried about what Alec's arrest will do to her.
Stuart, don't worry about me. It'll be okay, I promise.
You don't have to say anything.
The police will question Alec. They will find out how he did this and who helped him. And then they're going to put them in jail right where they belong.
You don't have to press charges.
Stuart, please don't feel sorry for him. You have to remember what he did to your brother, to the rest of his family.
Kidnapping, Stuart, is a capital crime. Pressing charges isn't an option.
Yeah, and if Alec is found guilty, he could go to jail for the rest of his life.
Is that true? Adam, you hear that? They may send Alec away forever. Stuart, come on. Let's go in the study where we can talk quietly. Excuse me, please. Come on. Let's just talk.
Now, my father would not lie about this. He may hate Alec. Hey, who doesn't? But he is not going to send an innocent man to prison for the rest of his life just to cover up some stupid test to find out if his wife was faithful or not. Charlie, you know he wouldn't do that.
Look, Hayley, Brooke and I have studied this from all
I
angles.
really don't care what you and Brooke have studied. Alec did it. Alec's guilty. Your gut instinct was right on the mark. As per usual, you should be proud of yourself.